we're having a conversation about whether Matthew Stafford's worth the money and to reboot for 5 more years at the freight that the Lions have paid. I say yes. Chris Brockman says he's already reached his ceiling, and that's the end of that. What do you say?
Well, I'll say this. Matthew Stafford had arguably the greatest weapon of all time offensively in Calvin Johnson and still couldn't win a playoff game. That's tough to deal with. Anytime you pay a person $100 million, you either have to draft really well and put a ton of talent around them, or you'll end up like the Baltimore Ravens where they've kind of messed up on the draft and they haven't had money to pay free agents and pay guys. So it kind of straps your team a little bit. But the way the salary caps are structured and the way the TV money is coming in, you're going to see guys starting to get those $90 million contracts because the timing's right. And so kudos to Matthew Stafford. I mean, that's always awesome. I'm always for players getting paid. I've always, Dion always says, show me the money. So he definitely got that. But again, for the team's sake, it's going to be tough to win right now. If they don't win in the near future, it's going to be tough to win because you're going to have some guys that are going to want some cash and you're not going to be able to pay them.
Well, what's the alternative? The alternative would be to let Matthew Stafford walk for compensatory picks or to, in this offseason, to have traded him before age 29 and try and get something and then reboot in Detroit. I mean, what is the other alternative, Maurice?
And I think that's the issue the teams have. Matthew Stafford was the number 1 overall pick. And so, his timing's been perfect where, Derek Carr comes in. The Raiders are similar to where the Seattle was, where they could, kind of build around Derek Carr because he was a second-round pick and they didn't have to pay him so much money. So they were able to pay some other guys at offensive line and put some pieces around him so you get Amari Cooper and things like that. For Detroit, it's hard for them to do that because they're always in the middle of the rankings. So they're always 18th pick in the draft. They're always 20th pick in the draft or 22. And it's tough to get those Amari Cooper type players or big time players. I just think, you have to do it as a team because you want to, if you don't have a quarterback, you're definitely not going to win. But, sometimes we're starting to see these quarterbacks who aren't Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Big Ben, who have won the big game and played well, get paid crazy, and it's going to be hard to put players around him. At the end of the day, Rich, he has to be able to make plays. And so when you get these $92 million guaranteed and you get these, $135 million contract extension, you're going to have to cover up a lot. Like, that offensive line is not going to be as good, and those receivers aren't going to be as good. All those type of things. So,
Maurice JonesDrew of the NFL Network joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So which situation would you rather have? A situation with the Lions where you've got a 29-year-old who's racked up the yards and has proven he can be a prolific passer in this league, but is now going to take up 1/6 of your salary cap for a team that hasn't won in a long time? Or would you rather have the Jaguars where you got year 4 of somebody who's going to be making $19 million next year because you're already on the hook for it, certainly if he gets hurt, and you don't even know if Blake Bortles is the guy, and you're just hoping because there's no other option. Which would you rather have, Maurice?
Yeah, I feel like both they're kind of different. I would prefer, and this is just me I would prefer the Jaguars because they have more pieces around. With Blake Bortles, you can cut him, and I think you're off the hook for majority of that 19, not all of it. But if you cut him and you cut him for skill and not injury, then you're off the hook, and you can get another guy. And they have pieces around him. You talking about they have Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns. They have Marquise Lee. We've seen some of their young guys like Dede Westbrook. They have Leonard Fournette. So they have pieces around. Their offensive line needs to continue to get better, understand. But you know that they've done a great job with the way they built that defense. So they have things to kind of go around. They just need that last piece, that quarterback to be the guy, where I think there's more building on Detroit's side, and it's going to be hard to do that when you have, like you said, 1/6 of your cap committed to one person. That is like, when I saw this contract, I think it was yesterday, right, that it came across?
Yes, sir.
Rich, yes. I was baffled. I felt like, I'm doing my kids a disservice. We all need to play quarterback. There shouldn't be any other position out there. Everybody should play quarterback. Forget offensive line. Forget wide receiver. Everybody plays quarterback.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that, please download our app. There's lots of fun things there other than just more of the videos you just saw. You can call us from the app. You can email us from the app. Just download it. Trust me, you'll enjoy it.